Welcome back to Mavericks Research. This is Michael Merle. It is November 4th, 2024, and we're back with another crypto market update. Okay, first up, apologies for last week. I didn't put up a market update because I had an issue with my family that needed tending to, and I really hate missing these market updates, and I promise I'll do my best to avoid that in the future. But sometimes life gets in the way. With that said, today's going to be special. Today's going to be awesome because I have been a busy bee and I've worked on something that I find really, really exciting. And yeah, I can't wait to share it with you because I'm just really proud of it. And I think it's going to be of immense help to everyone. And when I work on things, I always think, okay, what's the most benefit to my crew? All you guys who have been following my work for many years, some of you have found me recently, and you're looking at what I'm doing and you're trying to figure out how you can incorporate this into your trading reality, right? Is this of use to you? Because let's be clear about something, right? Why are you watching these videos, right? Why are we all doing what we're doing? We're going to the market, we're looking at charts, we place trades at some point, right? And so what we're trying to figure out every day is, okay, how can I increase my edge? What can I do to further my trading, to increase my profits and limit my risk and have a good read on the market? And unless that is there, unless you follow people who can actually aid you in that quest, then, well, it's kind of a waste of time, right? I'm not really into posting infotainment. Because honestly, you see that everywhere. You see, just go on Zero Hedge or go on so many sites which have, compelling news there, but you got to always think to yourself, how does this really benefit your trading? You read something about, I don't know, the stock market or about the crypto market, or even about politics, and you think about, okay, how does this really affect me? Does this really help me in what I'm trying to accomplish for myself? And, I've asked myself that question in the past because when I started in this game, I often fell for this trap that I thought, okay, the more information, the better. But it's really not true because in the end, there is such a thing as information overload. We as human beings only have a certain capacity to process information. And, well, the other thing is this information actually useful? You have to really look at information that you're getting, whatever you're following, and think to yourself, okay, does this really benefit me? What difference does this make to me? I think I apply this to everything actually in my life now. And I've come to accept the fact that over 90%, 95% of the stuff that I'm seeing, but a lot of stuff I'm getting, it's just noise. And it doesn't help me. So what I do, well, I try to cut that out of my life. With that said, okay, long story short, when I work on things, I really try to produce stuff that gets you to the next level, that help you get to the next level. Why? How? Because, hey, it helps me. If I built these tools, I built them for you guys, but foremost, my main focus, of course, is me. I'm not altruistic. I'm a trader. How can this help me? So with that said, I'm going to start with looking at the market. Okay, we're going to look at the market, and I'm going to show you a few things, give you my spiel on where we are, where we're going. This is actually a really great setup, and I'm going to talk about this in a second. And I'm going to show you something, the stuff I worked on. I actually worked on like 6-7 projects this summer into fall. And I'm about to introduce that. I'm about to introduce the big super bundle to you at the end of the year. It's going to blow you guys away. It's going to be awesome. So I'm really looking forward making all these videos because there's no way I can squeeze this into one video and share all this stuff with you because it's just the head would explode. Okay, so first thing, let's talk about the market and then I'll show you a few things, right? I've made it a point for a while now, for the last few months, that this right here, this sideways flag, right, this falling flag here, it needed a very decisive push to the upside or a hard drop to the downside to really show us where the market wants to go. There were 3 scenarios here that were the most plausible. I actually always thought that the breach higher had the highest probability. I think last time when I did a market update, I insinuated that. The other scenario that had, I think, probably a 30% probability was that we're dropping back below and remain stuck in this channel. Although it's end of the year, usually we see a lot of movement in the market after the summer, so I think the odds of that happening were a little bit lower. The third possibility was that we're going to drop very hard and maybe even lose the support line. There would have been a drop below 53K, and I think the odds of that were maybe 10%, 15% max. Those odds were really low, not after all this has happened. We have so much context now in terms of support. That was just not really a high probability, okay? So we've come back here now, and this is really a beautiful setup, and I hope you're not misreading this. Many people look at this and they're disappointed. Oh my God, we almost breached new all-time highs, right? And I think, right, if we go back here, did we actually have to draw a line here? We might be close to having breached the all-time highs, right? And so I'm sure that a lot of people are getting frustrated now that we fell back, but this is such a prime setup. This is so classical because I've seen this all the time in my trading career. A breach above a very strong resistance line, falls back, and then retests. What happens right now is crucial because if it holds the support line here, which is now a support line, it used to be resistance, right? And if it remains support, then it signals to us that this trading range here has finally been abandoned on a medium to long-term basis. Short term, anything can always happen, obviously. We could fall hard very quickly, maybe 2 weeks from now, and retest a little bit below here. This happens often. I call this like scaring the children. And it's just all about psychology. Because never forget, in trading, it's all about psychology. It's all about pressing people's buttons. And the market is somehow always geared towards impairing or injuring the maximum amount of participants. And why that is, who knows? It's just an aspect of the market that I've come to accept, and it's always been treated me well. I'm not coming from this from a position of cynicism, but more from a position of realism in that if I assume that the market is going to press my buttons, then I'm psychologically much better prepared to deal with it, if that makes any sense. Yeah. So anyway, I expected that much. I never thought we would be just continuing straight up higher. I was surprised how fast we actually pushed all the way almost to 74K, and this is quite natural. This is a prime setup. You know why? Because we know very quickly if we're wrong. It's great to be long here, actually right now, because it's retesting. We might even see a little bit lower here, a drop a little bit lower. But, you know, it's very easy to just put a stop, let's say 64K or something, and have limited downside, because if we really drop below 64K, then the odds are that we remain stuck for a little bit longer, potentially into next year. And that this was just a, fake out breakout, right? Break higher, that was, just a fake out. I hope not. I want to see Bitcoin finally abandon all this, makes it more fun for me as well, because, who wants to talk about this kind of market all the time? I prefer to talk to you about this stuff. So, okay. Of course, in terms of the performance of the system, it's just no problem at all. Bitcoin, here's basically the cumulative profit of Gravitas. And it was actually briefly above 100K again for the last few years. And now it's below, it's at 96.4 as of last night. Here we are, see the annual performance. And then here we have got Veritas, which is basically just a market indicator, or market cycle signal, cash, Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins. And this one is doing very well as well. And here's the same for that. And yeah, I'm going to show you something else though, because if you if you looked at this, you might have noticed something. Michael, where are the expected move lines? Well, because I didn't draw them. And a reason for that. I did provide them on my sheet. They're right here. And I did calculate them for you guys, of course. I wouldn't, There's actually a lot more because I ran it against the Binance again. And the coin selection has seemingly expanded because I see a lot more coins this week than last time. Wow, almost 680. So quite a bit, okay? So these are expected move ranges. Again, expected move, think bell curve, 1 standard deviation up and down. And it has worked very well for us. In fact, it has worked so well for us that I decided to work on something really special. And with that, I introduce you to our new expected move indicator. And I wanted to integrate this. You see the lines right here on Bitcoin, same thing as usual. It's actually getting this data from here. Well, not from the spreadsheet specifically, but from a file that contains the same data on the server. And I have worked on this actually several years ago. It was actually for stock market, right? And if type Inspire, show you what I was working on back then. It was actually my statistics tool. And I'm still going to call it the statistics tool for now, until I can think of a better name. But it's running for a second here because it's actually pulling live data from the market right now. And it's actually calculating as well the expected move. The difference being that on the stock market, right, if I, let's say, type Amazon, it's actually calculating it based on options. And I had this open somewhere. Let me see if I can see it right here. This was a lot of work. This took me several weeks to realize because in order to calculate the expected move for stocks, on top of doing this usual and weekly and monthly statistics, which are provided, by the way, here, and I'll talk about this a little bit more in detail some other time. Let's put up Tesla in the meantime, just for fun, just for giggles. And yeah, this data right here comes from Yahoo. So you can reload that and you get basically the option chain information right now, but it doesn't provide you with the other Greeks, delta, gamma, theta, this kind of stuff. And that's a little bit of a problem because if I really want to do anything serious in the market, I need that information. So what I actually did, I wrote a script that actually calculates these things for me, the Greeks. And I compared them with TOS, Thinkorswim, and also Tastytrade. And it's like 90-95% matches, which I'm really proud of because the math isn't easy on this stuff. And, I'm a quant trader, but I'm not a math genius per se. And for me to implement that was a big hurdle. And I was really happy when I pulled it off and when I did side-by-side comparison. And I was able to calculate every Friday now what I do after the market closes, actually, because information is then set. I calculate the expected move ranges for all the stocks in the S&P 500, all the symbols and ETFs and everything, of course, right? So if I type in here, for example, IWM, and you're going to see in a second, the expected move range. Again, it's getting live data from the market because I want to show where we are right now. I'm caching it every 5 minutes so that if you guys all access it at once, my server doesn't blow up. And so here's the data. We opened here today, and you can see we've got the expected move range up and down. It's quite big, actually. Volatility on the IWM is pretty large, right, if you compare with like spiders or something else. The other thing I was used to do for stocks were the weekly and monthly statistics. I cleaned it up a little bit when I was working on the script as well, so it's nicely sorted now by weekly and then monthly. And there's a bunch of goodies in there that a lot of you guys are really going to appreciate. Now, the only issue is that when it comes to stock, and this tool also supports, of course, crypto. When it comes to crypto, it doesn't give you any statistics. Why? Because you need at least 10 years of data to come up with any good statistics, weekly or monthly statistics. So there was just no way. So what I do, when you type in here a Binance signal, right, it's not going to calculate the statistics. Why? Because it just doesn't have enough data. We don't have enough data. We don't have 10 years worth of historical data on Solana or Doge or any other of the coins that you might be interested in, right? All these coins here, Cardano, Algo, all this good stuff, right? Atom, AVAX, all this stuff. We just don't have that. And so I cannot do any statistics, but I can give you the expected move range. And again, this one is done based on historical data. Now, what's really cool about this chart, and you're going to love this, is this. Let me click on this one more time. There. This is actually a live chart. Now, live in regards to, you have to reload, okay, to get new data every 5 minutes. There's limits to what I can do. I actually meant to implement this on TradingView, but they don't give you any API access, so there's nothing I could do. So I basically used a Python library that works pretty well, I think, and this is good enough for me. I can zoom in here. You can use this tool here on the side that gives you actually, if you have a mouse, click right here and you can zoom in and out. You can also, if you really screwed up like this, right, you just screw it up and you don't know what to do, you just press the reset button, boom, it's back. This is cool. This is all you need. And it works on all charts. And it, again, pulls the same info that I calculate every week right here. And yeah, it's the statistics tool. It's going to be available to all of you guys, well, all of your subscribers, of course. And of course, I'm going to make a bunch of videos in the next coming weeks about all the things that will be part of the Super Bundle. It's a bunch of services, a bunch of signals that you will love. This is only one part of it, but I think it's really crazy. This is really awesome, and it's going to be so helpful to you guys because now you don't have to go and copy paste this in, put it on TradingView. It's just so pedestrian. It takes so much time. All you have to do is just boom, right? Type in Solana. By the way, you always have to type USDT. Otherwise, how do I differentiate between stocks and crypto? It's going to make things difficult, right? Sometimes something doesn't pop up. Then it's not supported by Binance US because my server runs in the United States, and that's the only limitation right now. The spreadsheet has more because it's run here locally. Okay, let's go for an Ethereum. Okay, Takes a second. Again, it's loading the live data, and here we are. So that thing's really not going anywhere. But I think the expected move lines here are really showing the trading range very nicely. See that? So right here, this tells us everything we need to know. Right? It gives us a nice range. We're right here in the middle of nowhere. Nothing's going to happen until we escape this. So this thing is dead. This is dead on arrival, dead until further notice. And yeah, we need to see a very determined and decisive breach higher. And until we see that, this thing is just, the red-headed stepchild of the crypto market. I mean, nothing good is happening here. All right. And also always print the name up here because, do you guys memorize all these names? It drove me crazy. So as part of the script, this took me actually a whole day figuring this out, believe it or not. How to put this damn label on top here. The lengths I go for you guys. Okay. So that's all I got for you guys this week. This is going to be available to you soon, putting together the super bundle for you guys. This is just going to be one part of it. And all you guys are going to enjoy this thing. I mean, this is just absolutely such a time saver. Just be able to pop it up, look at the chart, know exactly the context. You don't need any other indicators. You don't need to draw lines. That's the point I'm trying to drive home. You don't need any other indicators. You don't need to draw lines because the expected move range tells you everything you need to know in the context of what's going here in the market for this week. And that's, I would say, for 90% of you guys, that's your trading horizon, right? You make decisions maybe on 3-day, 4-day, 1-week horizons when it comes to actively trading. When it's hodling, when it's long-term, we have systems. You probably have your own as well. You know what you're doing. But when it comes to gauging the swings and getting an understanding of what the market is doing, where we are, what the odds are, right? This is extremely helpful because here, for instance, in Solana, if we're dropping below here, the odds are that we're probably dropping all the way below here. It's just natural because this range is there for a reason, right? So again, this thing works on both Binance symbols and Yahoo symbols. But obviously, right now we're talking about crypto. But, don't be afraid. Check out stocks as well. It's very interesting, the statistics. Hopefully, it's something we can offer over the long term as well for selected symbols, maybe starting with Ethereum and Bitcoin as we gain more data, and then we'll see. Okay? But for now, this is it. And I'm going to make this available to you guys, and I hope you're going to love it because I love it. I'm going to use this all the time. It's such a time saver. And no more drawing on the chart, no more having to drop horizontal lines on my trading view chart. And that's going to help me a ton. All right, guys, that's all I got for this week. And I'll see you all next week. Cheers.